Hello, my name is Roma. I'm a medical student from Pakistan. Recently, I have been done with the USMLE Step 1 and passed it. Now I'm preparing for the USMLE Step 2. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the resources for the Step 1 and how I ace the exam. So, USMLE is simply the United States Medical Licensing Exam. It consists of the three steps, step 1, 2, 3, and fourth one is the OET, which is replacement of the CS exam. So what basically we have to do, first of all, we have to go through the ECFMG. What is ECFMG? ECFMG is the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduate. This ECFMG, it first of all we have to verify our credential in this. There are two things about ECFMG. It's verify a student. It's also certify a student from outside of the United States. So first we have to verify ourselves to the ECFMG, which is simply we have to upload our information as a medical student or graduate, whatever you are, and we will register to them and pay some amount whatsoever they require. This is the first step I will suggest to do, because this require a lot of time for, like, depend on the ECFMG. It sometimes require, like, it takes only 2 months, sometimes it's like within weeks they can do it, but sometimes they take a lot of time, like 1 month to 2 months. So it depends on when you are applying. So basically in the start of the year, I guess they are like less free, like so it's become easy for you to apply and you will get verification. And even after like 2024 there are some changes, so maybe we cannot be able to apply. So it's better to just verify yourself first, because after the verification you are safe, you can go further into this USMLE pathway. So there are three steps and one OET. So what happened? This is step 1, step 2, and OET. This occurs in our home country. There are centers throughout the world, but step 3 it's only being taken in the USA only. We cannot take it in our home country. So it is 2 exam. It happened in the USA. So this is must. And after completion of this, you will get the MD degree. But there is ECFMD certification, which you will get after completion of a step 1, step 2, and OET. Simply these 3 exams. Okay, and it is must for the for applying for the residency. Step 3 is a supplement exam. It's not basically applied for the residency, but most of the IMGs prefer to take it before applying for the residency. So back to our topic, what are the resources? So there is a universal resource, which is the base of all is UWorld. UWorld is the question bank, and it is very important to do, because through other resources we just collect our pace, like we learn passively, we just collect information, same topic we read from every book, but at the end of the day we have to apply all these concepts. So UWorld is the question bank. It is the most like used question bank, and it is 99% nowadays 99% material you already like you will already have in it. So what I have done, see, everyone has their own mindset, everyone has their own capacity. So obviously what worked for me cannot work for you, but what we can do, we have to, like, from others experiences and mistakes we can learn, and we can modify our learning capacity and strategy. So it's only my way how it worked for me. So it's not necessarily work for you, but most of the students get enough information through this method. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to simply skim through the Wars and Beyond videos along with the first aid. First, we have to know the literature, actually what we are going to face in the exam. So Wars and Beyond lectures with the first aid are the golden resource nowadays to do. So another the book is Pathoma. Pathoma is special, like only for the pathology, especially the first two chapter of the Pathoma. Those are from the general pathology, and they are very important to do. I suggest you to do even in the last week of your exam too. So this Pathoma is very important. You can you can skip the systemic session and go for the boards and beyond, but most of the students do both. They do the Pathoma, they do the boards and beyond. But if you do boards and beyond and first aid, it's also good. Then you have to do only three chapters of the Pathoma. And systemic, like you can skip that part from the Pathoma, but still, because we are not taught in that way histology and pathology, there are a lot of slides to cover. So Pathoma is the best resource if you are weak in the pathology. So what you have to do, you shouldn't take that much time on these stuff, because uh, if you are just learning passively, at the end of the day, when you are sitting in the exam, you have to face the clinical scenarios, and you cannot cover those like without doing any question bank. So UWorld is the gold resource for question bank of the question bank, and it is the best resource. Like if you have skimmed through this material, Vivos and beyond Pathoma and this stuff, you will not be like, you will not need the repetition of it again, because you will cover almost everything in detail. Now, what there is a effective way of doing the UL. What I have did and what I will suggest, that whatever, like I'm taking like 3 to 4 months in simply just the videos and the stuff, and I haven't started the question bank. So I'm just wasting my time, because unless I will not see where I am going wrong and in which area I have to work more, I will never get through this step ever. So I will suggest to start UL as soon as possible. As soon as possible, go through this material. If you are scoring 20%, 10%, 0%, doesn't matter. UWorld is simply a learning tool. There is an effective way of doing the UWorld. You have to see through the UWorld every detail, every explanation, even the wrong ones, the right ones, why you, especially the charts. So UWorld has like, it's a golden resource, and you have to just like learn every word from the URL, because you have to buy the subscription, and you have, there are multiple features in the QBank itself. You have a notebook and you have fresh card. So whatever the method work for you, but you will, I would suggest to start it as soon as possible. There is another QBank known as the Ambos, and people also use that. But I will suggest to like focus on the UL, because the style and the stem of the question is same like the real exam. So if you start the UL first and you are scoring low, doesn't matter. You can do second pass. So you can start it systematically halfway, and halfway you can do it random. And like most of the people, like they are exam oriented, so they do it random. Like myself, I did it random and I finished it very fast, and I just did it 3 months. I was just learning through that. I didn't even like read the first aid with them in games, like in 1 week or 2 week. I used to start a system and go through the system from the first aid, but in the U world I was just doing the random mode. But when I completed my first pass, I revised that UWorld from first aid. Like I put both things together, the notes I have taken from the UWorld and first aid itself. So I like started systematically, and it worked for me. I was like familiar with the 90% of the content in the exam, and the second pass was like it didn't work for me, because most of the questions I was already like, I was creating the bias, so I didn't go for the second pass. I just did my advance. But I will suggest that if your first pass is like so like low, then you should go for the second pass. So, but the question being create a bias. So it's better to switch towards another question being. So my second question being was the MPOS, because I just completed in 3 months, and in the 4 month I started to do my NBMEs, and at last I like for 2 to 3 weeks I just did the embos, because I wanted to experience the new style of the question. So at least once you have to skim through the UL anyway, learn every detail, because step one is like the verb, like the step saying I'm the first one. So if you are not taking the first step correct, then how can you go through the second step? Most of the people nowadays, they are taking step one so like lightly that it's just a pass fail and they can like go easily through it, but it is not how you are thinking. For step two, you require a strong base of the step one. If you do not prepare a step one well, then you cannot be able to like achieve a good thing on this step two. Like I myself, for a certain thing I did wrong in during my step one preparation, so I had to like revise those again and start for the step two. So step one is like you can take a good amount of time in reviewing material for U world, because step one U world and two U world are approximately same. So I will say don't panic, but don't relax too, because it's not like it's seen that everyone is passing. Like comparatively to the older years, the passing ratio has been decreased. Like I was just checking through the USMLE's website, the passing ratio like in the 2021 was 88%, and in 2022 it became 82%. So the failing ratio is also increasing. So always like work smart. It's mandatory nowadays, but in certain things you have to work hard also. So if your step one is good, then step two is also good. And I will suggest don't waste your time just like reviewing. I will review this and this, but focus on the question being and learn the stem, how they are tasting the things, and other things I will tell in other videos. For like everything has their own, like every book and everything has their own style to read. So for further details, pinch me and I will like tell you further if you want my advice.